We're back for our daily NBA best bets here on January 23rd, Friday, January 23rd. To be exact, we've got some good games today in the association, two of which are on Prime. Rockets, Pistons, not actually going to be covering that game. And then Nuggets, Bucks, we will have something on that later in the video. But regardless, a lot of games today in the association, and I found the 5 best bets for this slate of games. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets. Go make sure to check that out. We've got some early action today with college basketball at the best bet at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. today. So make sure to join us for that video linked in the description down below. And also in the channel later today, our NFL Conference Championship game best bets. Our predictions were posted earlier in the week. The predictions are linked down below. Again, best bets later today. And on Greedo Plays MMA, our UFC 324 predictions. Justin Gaethje taking on Paddy Pimblett in the main event from Las Vegas, Nevada, the first ever UFC card on Paramount. Make sure you go check out those predictions linked in the description down below. And our best bets are also on Greedo Plays MMA. Go make sure to check those out as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today for the association as we kick things off with a 4:30 game starting in Cleveland, Ohio. And guys, the moral of the story here is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm doing it for the third straight Kings game, guys. Until they fix this line, one of two things, okay? Until Vegas fixes the line and puts it where it should be, which is 19.5, or Westbrook completely lays an egg, I'm not going to lay off it. Until one of those two things happen, and even if they put it at 19.5, I might give it a shot. Just one time for the one time, because I can't believe I'm saying this, because of how good Russ has been to us recently. Last 2 games, we have gone Westbrook over in points at both 15.5 and 16.5. How about 22 points against Miami, 23 points against Toronto? After those 2 games, they decided to put the line at 15.5 here, and I think pretty easily Westbrook's going to go over. It hasn't been a secret the way I've thought about Sacramento this season, and I guess I don't know if I've fully displayed, I don't want to say hatred for Russell Westbrook, but I'm not a big fan of Russell Westbrook because, well, my favorite team plays in Los Angeles and wears purple and gold. But anyways, and don't get me started on what happened yesterday, the classic Laker fake comeback, I saw it twice. I saw 2 fake comebacks. They had it down to 2 points with 3 minutes to go, and they almost did it, but of course they choked. It's okay. I don't like Westbrook, not particularly, but he has been very good to us this season, and I will say Westbrook has played phenomenal basketball. And here's the thing too, it's not even like Russ is shooting all that well from beyond the arc. He's just finding ways to score. Westbrook has had exactly 9 field goals in each of his last 4 games. And again, in each of those last 4, 26, 23, 22, 23. But the scoring goes beyond that. 2 games prior to these 20-plus games, 19 points against the Knicks, and 22 points against the Los Angeles Lakers. We have seen consistent scoring out of Russell Westbrook, and I don't know why that would change tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road. I get it. This entire Westbrook scoring streak has been at home, right? The Kings were at home dating back to January 11th. I mean, there were 7 straight games at home for the Kings in, 12 days? And now they're finally going on the road. They're going to the Midwest. They're going and taking on the Cavaliers, who just played, yes, a low-scoring game against the Charlotte Hornets over in North Carolina. I don't really care about that at all. I think Westbrook is going to find his ways to score in this game. Cleveland, I know, again, they played a low-scoring game against Charlotte. The Cavs are not a great defensive team. They don't stand out, amongst the rest of the league. It's not like I look at the Cavaliers and say, wow, look how great defensively they are. No, they're not the Thunder. They're not a team like that. I'm not moved about what they do defensively. And the matchup Russ should be getting tonight should be fine. I mean, guys, we've seen matchups for Russ. We're like, oh, Toronto might be tough. Okay, Portland maybe, Washington, New York. Nah, Westbrook scores against all these teams, and yes, all these games are in Sacramento, but I don't think that really matters. Westbrook's going on the road, and the volume of shots Westbrook should get shouldn't change. Westbrook takes the most shots on the Kings. Yes, that's above DeMar DeRozan, that's above Zach LaVine, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe Westbrook is the second best scorer on this team, only behind DeRozan. I think DeRozan's the only better pure scorer. LaVine, I know, still averages the most points per game for Sacramento. I still believe he does, even though he hasn't been great these last couple games. Right now, the best scorer on the team is DeRozan, and then it's Westbrook. Again, on the year, LaVine averages 20, DeRozan averages 19, Westbrook averages 15.5. Keep on feeding Russ. And Russ is going to take the ball up court. He's going to find his looks. Keegan Murray's still out, so their starter's still out currently for Sacramento. We've seen, low minutes for Domantas Sabonis, still dealing and recovering from that injury and coming back from the injury. Westbrook has completely distanced himself from the backup point guard and the point guard, at least starting point guard to start the season, Dennis Schroeder. Westbrook's the guy. Dude, Russ is playing 35 minutes per game right now. And nothing on Cleveland defensively, at least at the guard spot, scares me at all with Russ here. Who's the matchup Russ is going to be getting all night long? It's going to be Donovan Mitchell, who, again, I'm not saying Mitchell's a straight bad defender, but Russ is going to get his buckets against anybody right now, I really think. I think we're fine. It's a low number for Russ, too. Guys, the last time Russ didn't go over 15 points was before that, or was the first game of that home, that homestand against the Rockets on the 11th. Since then, 22, 19, 26, 23, 22, and 23 points every single night for Russ. The 3-point shooting's off and on, but what remains constant is that, Russ is still going to take legitimately about anywhere from 5 to 8 3-pointers per game because teams are still leaving him wide open from three. So obviously he's going to take it. Westbrook is 34% 3-point shooter in the month. This season, 35% 3-point shooter. On the season, averaging 15.5 points per game. In the month, averaging 19 points per game. Keep giving me Westbrook until, again, either they change the line and realize what's going on, or Westbrook starts to lay an egg every single night. I'm going to keep going with Russ. I don't think the fact that the game's on the road and it's in Cleveland really changes much for Westbrook. I'm still going with this over. Give me the former MVP, Russell Westbrook, at 37 years of age, over 15.5 points. That's listed at -125 in Cleveland, Ohio, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. On to our second best bet of the video. We move now to our first spread of the day in what might be the least attended game of the day and the least watched game on TV today. The Memphis Grizzlies take on the New Orleans Pelicans for a whopping $4. You can get in the building at the FedEx Forum. This is actually kind of crazy to me too, because again, full transparency, I don't live in Memphis, Tennessee. I live in California. And the closest team to me is the Golden State Warriors. And if I want to sit lower bowl to Warriors game, I've only done it once. I've only been to one Warriors game at Chase. I've been to many at Oracle back in the day, but I've only been to one actual regular season Warriors game at the Chase Center. I had to pay, it was a Tuesday or Wednesday night in San Francisco. And I had to pay, 100 something to watch. And it was great. It was a great deal. I was very shocked I got it. But I had to pay lower bowl $100+ to watch Shea and the Thunder last year going to Golden State and playing in January. I'm just looking at this, and this just amazes me that this is a thing. Again, you can get into the building in Memphis for $4. And sure, again, the majority of NBA games I've been to have been Pacers games. I know, again, Indiana games have not been the highest of price. And the year I went to 10 Pacers games was before before the Pacers Eastern Conference Finals win and before the final season. Obviously, it was the year where they won the in-season tournament, at least on the East side. But regardless, right? It just amazes me that you can get into the lower bowl in Memphis, and I get it's Memphis, for $20. You can get into the lower bowl. Sorry, I know I took 2 minutes on that, but it's just that just amazes me that that's a thing. And obviously, attendance is down in Memphis, and no one really gives a damn about the Grizzlies right now. They should honestly just move them back to Vancouver, but that's neither here or there. The Grizz are only 6 under. If that matters, the Grizzlies are only 1 game back of the play-in. We see all the success the Clippers are having. Well, the Grizz are actually only a game back. Seems like it's only a matter of time before Ja Morant gets moved. I know the Bucks, trade was put out there, and we'll talk about Milwaukee later in the video, not specifically about the Ja trade and potential trade, but obviously it was put out there. Oh yeah, Ryan Rollins in a pick for Ja Morant. Yeah, does that not just heavily favor the Grizzlies? The more I look at that trade, I'm like, yeah, wait, hold on. That the Grizzlies should be trying to do that immediately. You get off the contract from Ja, you get a player in Ryan Rollins who has been better this season and probably fits you better, but that's neither here or there. Today for the Grizzlies, they are going to be without Ja Morant. Ty Jerome seems like he's inching closer to a return. I don't know about Scottie Pippen's return, Zach Edey's return, and Brandon Clark's return, but it looks like Ty Jerome, who's a big offseason pickup from Memphis. Obviously, they got him from that loaded Cavaliers team last season. Jerome looks like he's inching closer to a return. Still been ruled out today with the calf injury, but again, there's progress being made from Ty Jerome. Ja Morant is out today due to a left elbow sprain, and Santi Aldama is out today with a knee injury. So there's that. Those guys are going to be out tonight for Memphis. I still think they dominate the Pelicans. And again, this makes sense why this game's only $4, because you get the two teams who draw the lowest amount of crowds in the NBA right now and probably have some of the, they have the least amount of fans on both sides here in New Orleans and Memphis. Let's just be honest. And obviously the records aren't great, especially the Pels. Anyways, New Orleans lost 3 games in a row, lost to Indiana by 8 points in Indianapolis, lost to the Rockets by 9, and lost to the Pistons by 8. I will say they're playing competitive games, but they're not winning. Herbert Jones still out, and Herbert Jones' injury, he's questionable today, might play. Herbert Jones has not played since January 6th against the Lakers, hadn't played prior to that in 2 weeks, came back just to play Los Angeles, and has not played since. Because, of course, again, we knew Kawhi Leonard was playing yesterday. It wasn't a shock when I saw Kawhi is playing. Yeah, obviously. Everyone just gears up and gets ready to play Los Angeles. It's ridiculous. Anyways, it looks like Herbert Jones might return for the first time since that Lakers game, and maybe he'll play tonight and then not play again until when New Orleans plays the Lakers again. Who knows? Anyways, I'm looking at this matchup between the Pelicans and the Grizzlies, and I do think Memphis dominates it. Game is in Memphis, Tennessee. I know the Grizzlies are going to be playing in front of nobody, but the Grizz are just a much better team than New Orleans. I know their last game was a loss to the Atlanta Hawks. Prior to that, they had their 2 games in both Germany and England. They ended up splitting those. They lost the first game, and then Ja came back for the second game, and obviously they won that one. I'm completely fine with the Grizzlies in this spot. I do believe it's going to be domination. The Pelicans aren't playing serious basketball right now. It doesn't obviously look like they're trying to win anything because, they aren't. The Pels are 10-36. I don't know if they still hold the worst record in the NBA. They do. They still hold it by 1 loss over the Indiana Pacers. But I'll tell you this, the Pelicans will not be rewarded at all with a high draft pick. It's a shame that we are in this point of the year, and it's just January, and we're talking about, where will the Pelicans land in the lotto? But it's just a thing, right? Like, you're the Pelicans. You haven't tried to win anything. The league already gifted you Zion. And obviously Adam Silver is not, dying to build a super team over in New Orleans, Louisiana. Not the biggest market, even though, again, I've never been to New Orleans. I feel like it should be a bigger market, but I don't know. Whatever, never been. But obviously a super team is not trying to be built through the draft with the Pelicans, and Adam Silver, again, has no intentions of doing so. So the Pels are probably going to miss out on a top pick. Do the Hawks have their pick just straight up, or is it protected? Oh, maybe they just have it straight up. I thought it was protected. Maybe they don't. Yeah, I don't know what the Pelicans are doing. I don't. Do the Hawks actually just have their pick straight up? I thought there was a protection there. Maybe there's not. No, that's really bad. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. No, actually, no, they don't have their pick. Actually, no, I'm pretty certain they don't. Right, because they traded it for Derek Queen. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, they don't have their pick. What are the Pelicans doing, man? Okay. Yeah, this team's gonna get blown out tonight. If you watch this game, you're probably gonna be the only one on League Pass watching it. I'll tell you that. I know I didn't do a very good job hyping up that game, but it's not my job to do so. It's the NBA's. So, rivalry, by the way. New Orleans versus Memphis, rivalry. How can I forget? We are on Rivals Day, and nothing screams rivals more than Pacers and Thunder. I mean, yeah, I guess they played... Wait, sorry, hold on. We just glossed over the fact that Kings versus Cavs is a rivalry game? I mean, am I missing something? I gotta be missing something, right? Like, maybe were the Rochester Royals and the Cavs like a big thing back in like the 60s? I don't think the Cavs were around back then. Weren't they in the ABA back then? I don't know. What is that rivalry? Cavs, Kings? LeBron's first game was against the Kings. It was in Sacramento. What? Pacers Thunder. Yeah, again, the classic rivalry of Indiana versus OKC. I know they played each other in the NBA Finals last year. That one still hurts. Still hurts a little bit. Oh, Halliburton's down and looks like he's hurt. Man, it still gets me. It still gets me every once in a while. It's okay. The Pacers will be back next year with AJ Devonsta. Just you wait. Anyways, Indiana goes to OKC. Unfortunately, again, I can't with a straight face tell you the Pacers are going to be competitive here, guys. They're not going to be. I will say this, first game of the year between these two teams, ultra competitive. First game of the year for Indiana, that's when I was at a point where I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Okay, the Pacers are still going to be a playoff team this season, and I firmly believed it at the time. That game went into double overtime against OKC. They had the Thunder in spots. The Thunder walk away with the win, 141-135 in Indiana, but Benedict Mathurin scored 36 points. Shea dropped 55 in the victory. One of the best games we've watched all year long. Again, a game that was won by OKC, but a competitive game and a down to the wire game, obviously, which was a finals rematch. It was the game that kicked off the season for the Pacers. It was the second game of the year for OKC. Nembhard got hurt in that game too, by the way. Anyways, the Pacers have not done anything since. They're 10-35, and they've made it very clear, yeah, they're not trying to win anything this season, which is okay. Honestly, they deserve a top pick. They should get a top pick, okay? I'll be pissed if they don't get one. This is a blowout by OKC. I'm not going to, try to build any suspense here. This one's not going to be competitive. The Thunder likely win this game by 25 or more. OKC, Do we need to talk about the fact that Thunder are 30? Oh goodness, what's the record? Is it 28-1 without Jalen Williams this season? I could be 24-1. I believe that's the record they are without Jalen Williams. It is a stat though. Like they are much better without Jalen Williams this season. I'm not telling you Jalen Williams is the reason that they haven't been, great, obviously with him healthy, but I don't know. I just want to put that out there. It's an injured Thunder team, but they're still finding ways to win. No J-Dub tonight, no Caruso, no Hartenstein, no AJ Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins questionable, Jay Will, obviously Jalen Williams, the Y, questionable tonight. Doesn't matter who's in the court as long as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's going to win the Most Valuable Player award, and as long as Chet Holmgren, who's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award, are on the court, the Thunder are going to win via blowout because their depth is insane. Yeah, this game will not be close. At least, again, I think Chet's going to win DPOY. They might give it to Rudy Gobert. It has to go to Chet, right? Because it could go to Wemby, but Wemby hasn't played the game, so I think it's got to be Holmgren's award. So regardless, though, you likely have the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year on this team, and likely this team is winning the NBA championship. I don't want to get too far into that because you've heard my spiel before on this team, but nothing I've said changes, okay? I still believe this is the best team currently in the league, and I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that they don't win the championship. Who's going to stop them? San Antonio? They're a year off. So anyways, OKC Indiana tonight, this is going to be a pummeling. Game's not going to be competitive. Shai is doing Shai things again. Well, no, he hasn't stopped. I mean, Gilgeous-Alexander scores 20 points in every single game. How about 47-11 for SGA against the Bucks? Obviously, in the classic rivalry that we all know and love of Milwaukee versus OKC. It's one that it keeps me up late at night thinking about that Thunder Bucks rivalry because I don't know, man. I get anxious and we only see this 2 times a year. I can't wait for that game. So now the Thunder get their great rivalry game against Indiana. I mean, whatever. Don't get me started. It's okay. Shai's playing really great basketball, though. 40 points against Milwaukee, 30 against Cleveland, about 39 the game before against Milwaukee. Sorry, against Miami. Best player in the league. It's not close. I love Luka Doncic. I'm a huge fan. He's on my favorite team. Best scorer in the league, maybe Luka. Shai's the best player, though, in the league, and it's not close. Indiana tonight, Benedict Mathurin's still out. I still don't know if he's ever going to play another game as a Pacer. I still have a feeling they're going to trade him shortly because why wouldn't you cash in on this? 18 points per game. I'm going to be honest, his production probably gets replaced next year with either a Darren Peterson or an AJ Devonsta or a free agent, so there's no reason to keep Mathurin around. Makes sense to get rid of him. That's really the only notable injury tonight. Obviously, Halliburton and Toppin are out as well. Pascal Siakam, I will say, is having a phenomenal season that nobody's going to talk about. Should be an all-star, might get snubbed, 24-7 this season. Jay Huff, will give him a lot of credit. He stepped into a starting center role. He was not the starter to begin the season. He's played well in spots. He blocks pretty much a shot every single game. And that's kind of everything that Miles Turner used to do. So yeah, I don't know. Miles Turner's a bum. What else do you want me to say about him? Anyways, I'm taking OKC. Game shouldn't be close. This is a typical Thunder blowout. Last 2 games. How about a 32-point victory over the Cavaliers and a 20-point victory over the Milwaukee Bucks? And now they get probably the worst team in the league. Yeah, I wonder how this one goes. By the way, before that, how about a 20-point victory over Houston and a 21-point victory over San Antonio? You're telling me they're not going to beat the Pacers by 20? Yeah, it's going to happen. OKC minus 15.5. Game shouldn't be close. Game's in OKC. Unfortunately, Tyrese is not playing, so we'll be back next year at the Pacers, though. Don't you forget about that. On to our next game, we go to those aforementioned Milwaukee Bucks, and I cannot bring myself to pick the Bucks to win a basketball game, nor can I pick them to cover a basketball game either. Minus 6.5 for Milwaukee is a no-go for me. Give me Denver. I know they're injured. I know they played last night, and we kind of looked at the line and said, that's it. And they covered. They beat the Wizards by 10 points. That was enough to cover the low line that they had. Peyton Watson casually drops 35 points. Valanciunas back in the lineup. Great. They have another center back. Awesome. Peyton Watson plays 40 minutes and scores 35 points. That's absurd. We'll see who plays tonight. Again, it's a very injured Denver team. Obviously, Jokic not back yet. Will he be back soon? I don't know. Again, as of last week, he had resumed on-court workouts. My guess is he probably comes back sooner rather than later. I think the target date, if I'm the Nuggets, is February 1st against OKC. You're at home, big game on NBC. That's the target date, if I'm assuming. If I had to guess, that's probably where I'd expect him, honestly, to be back. On a Sunday night, yeah, it makes sense. Sunday night basketball, it's the Pro Bowl weekend in the NBA. Yeah, it makes a lot. Or the old Pro Bowl weekend, there's no football. Yeah, it makes sense. Anyways, because obviously NBC is going to shift to Sunday and Mondays now, I believe, right? Because football's over. Okay. Nuggets without Jokic though win last night in Washington. It was a competitive game, but the Nuggets were ahead for most of that one. I don't know if actually did the Wizards ever lead that game? I mean, they led once. Yeah, they led once late in the game, I believe. They led once. Okay. Yeah, 99% of that game was Nuggets leading. So it was domination for the most part. The Wizards were just within that 10-point range the entire game. Denver ultimately wins it again by 10 points. So good victory. They cover the spread. We'll see who plays tonight, obviously, because they are very injured, and that's why the line's where it's at. I think it's still okay to take Denver plus 6.5, even on the second night of a back-to-back. Milwaukee is awful. Jamal Murray has played back-to-backs. Jamal Murray has been playing big minutes. Same thing with Aaron Gordon. I think the player you probably won't see tonight is going to be Jonas Valanciunas, who did play last night and came back for Denver. They did start him and played 22 minutes. I don't think we're going to see him tonight, but that means we're probably going to get, Zeke Naji, Aaron Gordon have to step up in that 5 role, Spencer Jones. That's okay. The Nuggets are still fairly deep. I'm not a fan, but they are deep, and Jamal Murray is playing at an all-star level this season. Only dropped 24 yesterday, which is not much for the way he's been playing, but Jamal Murray has been dominant all year long for Denver, and they're taking on the Bucks. A Bucks team that, the media keeps on hammering the fact that they believe Giannis should be traded, which I agree with. Where the hell is Giannis going to go? I mean, seriously, where will Giannis be traded to? I mean, which team will actually trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo? I don't, who has the money to do it? Who has the assets to do it? The only one that I can actually see is San Antonio. I don't think OKC is going to do it because they have no reason to do it. Because what they're doing right now is working, and it just doesn't make sense to bring in Giannis to that core. San Antonio, I don't think it makes sense either, but I feel like they might think, oh, wait, hold on, win now, we trade Dylan Harper, trade some picks. Okay, actually, yeah, let's try to beat OKC this season. They shouldn't do it. What other team could trade for Giannis? The Knicks? What, you're just going to trade everybody but Brunson? I know it's not working right now, but I'll tell you this, just Brunson and Giannis with no bench isn't winning you anything. The only team that legitimately makes sense to me is San Antonio. I think OKC would be stupid. Brooklyn has the picks, but why would they want Giannis right now? I guess building for the future. But why would Giannis want to be there other than the fact that it's a big market? I don't know. OKC, yes, they could easily do it. No one, if OKC wants to get Giannis, they can do it. Nobody would be able to outbid them for it. All they'd have to do, picks plus Hartenstein would do it. Because Hartenstein will make the money work. I think they probably have to throw somebody else in there too. But they could do it quite easily. They're not going to. Sam Presti's not going to pull the trigger on that. So I don't know where Giannis is going to be able to go in terms of where the Bucks are going to be able to get enough from him and where will the money work out for. Anyways, Giannis is supposed to play tonight. Obviously, there was that clip that kind of went viral of him kind of shrugging off Doc Rivers and just, Giannis is very upset. Sure. I mean, he's sick of losing, obviously. But we knew this equation was never going to work with Milwaukee this season. It's Giannis and nobody else. Ryan Rollins has played good basketball, and the Bucks have pondered the fact that, maybe we should go out and we should go acquire a Ja Morant. And again, I don't think that does much for them because Ryan Rollins fits Giannis and what the Bucks are trying to do better than what Ja is going to bring this team. And he's younger and he's cheaper if you do want to try to get another player. They've talked about Jeremy Grant. That does not make sense. I just don't know what Milwaukee's trying to do. Tonight, though, you're going to see most of the guys playing. I think everyone should be playing, including that bum Miles Turner. Kevin Porter Jr., I will say KPJ is out for the foreseeable future, so we'll see about that. I don't think the Bucks are 7 points better than Denver. I know, again, the second night of a back-to-back's in there, but look at the way the Bucks have been playing. This team sucks. This team is horrible. They've lost 4 or 5, and the game they won was on Monday, on Martin Luther King Day, where the Hawks had an all-time horrible first half shooting from beyond the arc. They went 1 for 30 from the three-point line in the first half. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but you get my point. And the Bucks still won the game by 2 points. This team sucks. They beat the Lakers in Los Angeles, because of course they did. And they proceeded to lose 4 in a row, 3 in a row after that. Oh my goodness, I hate the Lakers so much. I hate them. I hate that team. Anyways, the Bucks are horrible. The Bucks are horrible. Giannis is trying his damn hardest. Ryan Rollins is playing good basketball, but Denver is going to bring it to him. The pace that the Nuggets play with, I understand it's not at elevation. The game's not in Denver, and it's the second night of a back-to-back for the Nuggets. I still believe they're able to play this game close enough. So I'm going to go with Denver on the road, plus 6.5 points in Milwaukee. I just think it's way too many. I think it is. I know Denver, played a somewhat competitive game, a relatively competitive game against Washington on the road, but I do like them to cover on the road here against the against the Bucks. Do the Nuggets cover 6.5? That was one hell of a way to put that. On to our final best bet of the video. Okay, unless he pulls off some magic, which, you know, Denny Avdija has been capable of pulling off some stuff this season, obviously with the free throw line. I don't think Avdija is going to go over 30.5 PRA. I don't think so. He's injured. He left the game yesterday against Miami, played 18 minutes. Blazers win by 17 points, but plays 18 minutes, still scores 20 points in those 18 minutes, gets the free throw line, of course, because every game he does, but leaves the game due to a back injury. And he's going to play the second out of a back-to-back? Thiago Splitter already said, yeah, we expect Avdija to play. That shocked me. And I will say this, too. If you don't like Avdija under, I will do this as well. I will take Portland plus 4.5. I just don't think Avdija is going to play that well. I think the rest of the team is going to play well. We know here, and this is why, again, this is why I didn't go straight points, okay? Avdija still may have his impact on this game. And if he does, it's going to be either by just pure scoring or pure setting up his setting up his teammates. He's not going to do both. Avdija is a great passer. I'm not going to deny that. He's a great passer. Sure, yesterday only had 4 assists in 18 minutes, but again, Avdija, per game, he averages 7 assists per night, which is 11th most in the game right now, 11th most in the NBA, okay? He's a very good passer for his size and for that point forward role he kind of plays, obviously, 6'8". Either Avdija is just a pure passer tonight, or Avdija is just going to be a pure scorer. You're not going to have both. Playing at not 100%, which again, I question Portland doing this. Maybe that does tell us, well, Avdija is actually much healthier than we think he is, even though he left the game yesterday. Obviously, again, they have to feel somewhat good about Avdija's condition tonight if they're willing to play their franchise guy who's 25 years old and going to be a first-time All-Star this season, the second out of a back-to-back for a team that is finally back over 500. I will say that the Blazers are 23-22. They're only a game and a half behind Golden State after the Warriors lost last night. Of the 8 seed, they could get the 2 chances in the play-in. Again, we'll see how that unfolds. But anyways, it is interesting they're willing to play him. I just don't think we see a huge impact for Avdija. Again, I just think we see parts of Avdija's game that we're accustomed to just not completely show up tonight. Whether that be rebounding, obviously, because Avdija is a very aggressive rebound crasher. He's going to, or chaser. He's going to crash boards. He's going to look for those second chance opportunities. We're just going to see some part of the Avdija game not really show up tonight. Whether, again, that be the scoring, whether that being the playmaking and the passing and the setting up his teammates, or that being just the straight rebounding, something is not going to come into the equation tonight for Avdija. I mean, again, on a normal night, 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists is an easy line for Danny. Look at the last full game he played against the Sacramento Kings in SAC. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Obviously, that's 46 PRA. That's a lot. Game prior to that against the Knicks, 25, 5, and 4. Actually, that goes under. That's only 34. But game prior to that, 23 and 6. Well, he's okay. Game prior to that, 41, 6, and 2. Again, normally, this is an easy line for Danny. I did just pick 2 games where he didn't hit it. But for the most part, the first 4 games he played in the month, he went easily over this line, right? Then he had the 2 against the Knicks and the Rockets where he didn't. But for the most part, 38.5 PRA is not a lot for Avdija, a guy, again, who averages on the season 26, 7, and 7, but a player who's been putting up even more than that recently, obviously, with the scoring. The guy's averaging 30.5 points per game in the month of January. I just don't think we see all that tonight. I think we see somewhat of a minutes restriction tonight. Obviously, Thiago Splitter's not going to say that. The Blazers are in a position where they are desperately trying to win games. They believe this is their step this season. They want to be at least involved in the play-in. They want there to be meaningful basketball for the first time in Portland since, Dame left the first time. Obviously, Lillard is back now, not playing, obviously, due to injury, and he'll be back next season. But, well, I think, are they talking about Dame coming back for the play-in? That's not happening, right? I hope it doesn't happen. I think it'd be stupid if he came back for the end of the year. Okay, yeah, sorry. The official report is Damian Lillard will not be back, as he made clear during an interview with YouTuber Speed. Okay, just I had to make sure about that one. But they're playing him for a reason. I just don't think they're going to play him that much. So 38.5, obviously, Vegas and, the books know this as well. They're not expecting a big game out of Denny Avdija, and I'm not either. Now, again, I will say this, there is a situation where he does play over the allotted minutes we expect him to play. I just want to put this out there. Yesterday, Jason Kidd said that Cooper Flagg was only going to play like 20 minutes. He ended up playing 30, which was odd. But, I mean, Dallas, I guess, needed Cooper Flagg in spots. They were really trying to win that game against Golden State, and they did exactly that, as the Mavs have now won 4 games in a row. But I just want to put that out there. Again, don't always trust what coaches say, and don't forget, again, I know Thiago Splitter, probably not in the gambling, gambling ring that Chauncey Billups was on, but don't forget what happened to the early season Jailblazers. Chauncey Billups was the head coach at the beginning of the season, and if I'm not mistaken, Thiago Splitter was on that staff. I'm not accusing Thiago Splitter of betting on these games or not. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, like, watch out for some weird stuff, okay? It is still the Jailblazers. I think Avdija under 38.5, though. I just don't expect him to play that much tonight, and I expect some part of his game to be kind of off and lacking. It's going to be the under tonight on the Blazers All-Star in Denny Avdija. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA Best Bets here on Friday, January 23rd. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA Best Bets, and go make sure to join us for our college basketball Best Bets as well, linked in the description down below. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.